Hello, music fans, or hi fans of high quality entertainment, as Larry Graves, the Canadian Studmuffin, would say. I saw Larry was doing a contest where he'll be giving away some free music stuff, CDs, Blu ray, book, $60 Amazon gift card to a winner to celebrate his 20 years on YouTube. That's a long time on YouTube, and it's great to see he's giving back to his viewers. So I figured I would take a shot and enter and make a video and answer the prompts. I enjoy Larry's YouTube videos and his passion for music, even though Canadian Studmuffin is an awkward name for a channel, in my opinion. But he's a funny guy, and we have some overlap in music taste when it comes to rock, both enjoying classic rock like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin, Pink Floyd, and more. I like to dive more into metal stuff on my channel, and I also listen to a lot of newer music where he focuses on rock rather than metal and a lot of older stuff. Though I know he dabbles in some newer stuff occasionally and the odd metal band here and there, like Black Sabbath. But I find he's just got one of the most relaxing and calming voices out of all the music reviewers on YouTube that I've heard, which makes his content just easier to watch in evenings when I don't want to hear somebody that's super loud or chaotic. I know he's done some ASMR stuff in the past, which makes sense. So I wanted to enter the contest, and I'll leave a link to his video in the description of mine in case anyone else wants to enter as well, or don't, so that I have a better chance to win. So there are 5 prompts to answer to enter here. One was shout out 3 of your favorite YouTube channels. So I'm going to shout out Rhyme Signatures, as we just have very similar tastes in music, and he often finds some underground stuff that would otherwise slip under my radar. He's great at describing albums, making me want to listen to them. Notes Reviews is another person with similar taste to me. Nathan on Shuffle, I find a lot of good content, good new music through the latest prog news videos. And he likes some metal as well, but doesn't really go into the extreme stuff as much as I do. But he's very good for discovering more on the prog rock side. I wish I could have said more channels, but those are the 3 I'd pick. I also love plenty of prog related music channels like Prog Corner, Prog Report, Sea of Tranquility, of course. But those channels have so many views, they probably don't need me to shout them out. And I also enjoy many smaller channels too. There's just so many great ones, too many to name. I subscribe to dozens of channels like these on my channel, and I find lots of great music through them. The second prompt was, what are your 5 favorite bands? So for me, it's progressive metal bands like Between the Buried and Me, Dream Theater, Haken, Opeth, and Protest the Hero. There's 5 right there. If I had to shout out a 6th, I'd probably say Caligula's Horse. To me, those are kind of my big 6 and the best in prog metal. I know a lot of people would also say Tool and Meshuggah for prog metal, and I love them as well. There's just so many great prog metal bands, others like Periphery, Symphony X, Tesseract. I also love a lot of prog rock bands like Rush, Thank You Scientist, King Crimson, King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, Yes, Gentle Giant, Pink Floyd, Toe Hider, The Deer Hunter. I could go on all day about prog rock as well as prog metal. And even, of course, the classic rock bands like the Beatles, Led Zeppelin. We got the Beatles right there. So yeah, that's probably enough favorite bands. But yeah, I could go on all day with band recommendations. Then he has the third prompt was 5 favorite solo artists. Sometimes it's hard to tell like the line between what's a solo artist and what's a band, but I'm going to go with Devin Townsend as my favorite, even though a lot of his work has been as the Devin Townsend Project, which is kind of a band, or the Devin Townsend Band. Some of it's been under the name Devin Townsend. He had a band called Strapping Young Lad, and Casualties of Cool was one of the projects. But yeah, Devin Townsend, amazing, my favorite solo artist. Then Steven Wilson, of course, from Porcupine Tree fame. He has an amazing solo career as well. And then, so those are easily my top 2. Another one I discovered in 2025 that made my 3rd favorite album of the year and my favorite debut album is Jacob Roberge from Canada, who made an amazing prog rock album called The Passing. So I want to throw him on there. And if Jonas Lindberg and the Other Side, it's kind of a band, but it's kind of named after Jonas Lindberg. It's kind of a solo artist, so I'll maybe pick Jonas Lindberg. And then my fifth will be E.S.T, who is a progressive black metal uh, artist. He was the frontman of the black metal band Emperor, but he's gone off on his own and he makes even better music on his own than he did in his band Emperor. I think I like the more progressive black metal stuff than the more straightforward stuff that he did with Emperor, although Emperor is kind of cool, kind of symphonic as well. And I could have a million honorable mentions for solo artists. It's honestly probably a good idea for a video topic for me to just list off my favorite solo artists. And the fourth prompt was, what are your top 5 albums of all time? So I'm going to limit myself to the one per artist rule, so it's not all like Between the Buried and Me and Protest the Hero albums, because they make some of my favorite albums. But I'll start off with those. My favorite album, Protest the Hero's Kazaya. I know not for everybody, probably not for all of Larry's viewers if you don't like harsh vocals, but if you like progressive metal and you can tolerate some harsh vocals, there's also a lot of melodic vocals on here. Lots of really like fast, crazy guitar playing. It's kind of like progressive metalcore from 2005, kind of some a lot of prog inspirations, a lot of like guitar shredding. The guitar is crazy fast on this, and a lot of like metalcore and even kind of some emo influences in here. And it's a concept album, a story, and everything. So pretty cool. Number 2, Between the Buried and Me with Colors. Another awesome, another progressive metalcore. So you kind of have to be ready for the harsh vocals here. I'll have 2 on here that don't have any harsh vocals for people that don't want to handle that. The next one's Dream Theater. Metropolis Part 2, Scenes from a Memory. No harsh vocals here. Great concept album, prog metal. And all the picks that I'm doing today are prog metal because it's just my favorite genre. So my top 5 albums are all in that genre. And my number 4 is something I have on vinyl here, which is Aquarius by Haken. Now this one's good for people who don't even like harsh vocals. There might be like one harsh vocal moment in a song here. Yeah, there definitely is, but it's 95 to 99% clean singing. And then my last one's also progressive metalcore. It's the Human Abstract Digital Veil. It's got some screaming, but they all have singing as well. It's not, I don't really go for the ones that are just screaming the whole way through. But yeah, the Human Abstract Digital Veil. So those are my 5 favorite albums of all time. Limit 1 per artist. And then the last prompt here for the contest was the best and worst concerts you've been to. Now, this one was probably the trickiest to answer because I've seen so many good concerts, but one of the best was watching Between the Buried and Me do on the Colors 10th anniversary tour where I saw them. They played this album in full plus an encore from a different album, and that was at the Opera House in Toronto in 2017. And the band, The Contortionist, opened up for them, as well as I think Polyphia and Tooth Grinder were the first 2 bands. The Contortionist was the third band, and Between the Buried and Me was the headliner. Great one. Another great one I saw was when I saw System of a Down in 2025 at Rogers Stadium, and Polyphia and Deftones opened for them. And that was probably the most people I've ever seen at a concert. It was a 50,000 person stadium, sold out. And System of a Down was the band that got me into metal when I was like 13 years old. So it's cool to see that. And that was the second time I saw them. I've seen Between the Buried and Me many times, but it's just great to see these bands every time. And worst concert, that one's even tougher because usually the bands I see are pretty great. So I have to pick. It was probably a free concert at my university back in the day that I just went to because it was free. I think the band was Down with Webster. I'm not really into them. So probably, some concert that I went to for free was probably the worst. And that's it for my entry into this contest for Larry Graves' 20 years, celebrating 20 years on YouTube with a giveaway of CDs and book and Blu-ray and gift card. Hopefully I win. If not, whatever. It was fun making the video. And hopefully people, if you like relaxing music content, I think he's a good person to subscribe to. And especially if you want to learn more about classic rock stuff. And if you want to hear and learn more about progressive metal, progressive rock, more modern stuff, definitely check out my channel. Hit that like button, hit that subscribe button if you're into metal, rock, and prog music. I also talk about some of the older stuff from time to time. And I've been posting my first impressions on new music releases every week as they come out. So peace out. I'll see you in the next one.